Hey, what's going on everybody, welcome back. So today we're gonna be coming again for one more build video, and this build is actually the build that you guys saw on the last live stream, solo heroic missions, and you guys seem to enjoy it. So today I'm gonna show you guys the build that I have for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you're new, if you want more content. Now we're gonna be taking a look at this build. This build is something that I've honestly, when I first did it, I was not too sure, because this build is gonna be involved around one talent. That's where everything started, right? It's one talent and it's on the mask. It's called the perfect spotter, right? So all this build, it comes around that talent. That's where I started making this build. So honestly, the first time I did it, I didn't have this much armor, I didn't have this much damage, and I was just doing just fine with that perfect talent, and I was just surprised. So that's what inspired me to keep doing for this build, to keep going for this build. And now I think it's on a place where it's enough for me, but I still have where to improve it, and I'm gonna let you guys know exactly where to improve it, because the build is not completed. This is what I got for now, so this is what I work with, and you guys saw the proof on the live stream that the build work on a solo heroic mission that I've done and I completed. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's get into this, right? So this is the build, guys, and this build, like I said, is gonna be involved around the talent, the perfect spotter. So the perfect spotter comes on the Gilligard, and the perfect spotter gives you 20% weapon damage to pulse enemies. Now before we get into that, right, pulse right now on this title update 6, it's kind of weak, I would say. So that's why I never use the perfect spotter, because I don't want to use the pulse. It takes too long, or it's just, I don't know, it's just not useful right anymore. Title update 5, it was kind of nice, but not anymore. So the way that I found around this, it's by using the new specialization, the technician. And let's go in there, let me show you something real quick. Now we're gonna come in here on the technician tree, and there is one thing that you need in here. So if you go and upgrade the rifle damage all the way to max, it will unlock this thing right here, which is the linked laser pointer, and it says technician laser pointer that pulses the target at which is aimed. So as long as you aim at the target will be pulsed, but basically it's like a free pulse at all time, and for any NPC, any enemy. So it's a great, and is for underbarrel attachment for the long rails, and that works on most of the ARs. So you need this for it to help you pulse your enemy all the time. That way you have the spotter activated at all time. Basically that's it. All right, now let's take a look at the build, right? Like I said, this build is all involved around the perfect spotter, and it comes on the mask. Now let's go piece by piece, and let's start with the mask, right? So for the mask, I have this Gilligard mask, perfect spotter. The named item, name of it is gonna be NIGHTWATCHER. So the attribute is gonna be 13,000 health and 544 skill power. Now in here there is two options that I'm gonna show you in here on the mask. The perfect solution in here would be having health and damage to elite, because I'm gonna show you where else that I want to have that skill power, right? I have this mask right here, which is another NIGHTWATCHER mask that has 42% damage to elite, and it has some 6,000 health on kill, which is not really that useful, but I have it in here if I want to use it. But the reason I'm not using it, because I want more skill power. I'm putting skill power over damage to elite on this build because it worked for me. The only time that I feel like I needed some damage to elite was against the yellow tank enemies. I'm talking about the big dudes. I mean, it's not hard, it just takes more time to kill them, because I do not have damage to elite. I only have 38% damage to elite. If I put this mask on, I'll be on 80% damage to elite, and that will help me kill those enemies faster. But other than that, any other NPC, I'm just fine. Even the yellow regular NPCs, I can kill them just fine without damage to elite. Now the talent, like we said, is gonna be the perfect spotter, 20% weapon damage to pulse enemies, and Gilligards always comes with a utility mod slot, and we're gonna need 5 at least to unlock the perfect spotter. Now in here I have some 125 skill power with 4% reload speed. That's one thing also that I put a lot in this build, a lot of reload speed, because on the magazine of the assault rifle we have plus 20 bullets but minus 10% reload speed. Moving down for the chest piece, we have the second Gilligard on this build, and we have on the attributes 25% total armor, 26,000 armor, and 514 skill power. On the chest piece, the skill power goes up to 1000. If you're lucky enough to get one of those chest pieces, great for this build. And then on the talent, I have Bloodsucker. Depleting an enemy armor adds a stack of 25% bonus armor for 10 seconds. The max stack is 6. We see that we have 500k armor on this build. That 25% is going to be huge and help us a lot survive on this build, because we have a lot of enemies that has armor besides the red enemies, so that's going to help us get some more armor on the fight. So the Bloodsucker is very good on the tanky builds. The mod slot, we're gonna have 1 utility and 2 defensive. On the holster, now in here we have the first troop pages on this build. We have 2 of them on this build, and by having 2 we're gonna have 10% total armor. Now remember, like I said, we can put some skill power on the holster, and then we can put that damage to elite on the mask. And the reason why I'm not doing it just yet on this holster, because this is the only True Patriots holster that I have that it's good for me, and I didn't have any other one. And plus I need to find a skill power. I think skill power in the holster goes up to 700 or 800, so that's a huge amount. That's even more than what you can get on the mask. So on the holster I would say have health and skill power. By having a True Patriot holster, you always have a 2 offensive mod slot. In here you see we have 1.5% weapon damage and 4% assault rifle damage. We have 2 of those for the damage to our AR. Moving to the backpack, this is going to be the second True Patriot. Like I said, we have 2 in here, and the attributes in here is going to be 18.5% total armor, 15,000 armor, and 4% weapon damage. The talent is going to be Hardened. That's the only talent I recommend in here, and the mod slot is going to be 1 offensive and 1 utility. We have more weapon damage overall, 1% weapon damage, 1% damage to armor, and 4% assault rifle damage, and 1 utility mod that has 5.5% reload speed. Remember, we're having a lot of reload speed in this build, and I'll show you guys in a second how much reload speed I'm gonna have in this build. Now moving down, let's talk about the gloves. So the gloves in here, we have a first group AB, and you want to have at least one of them in the build, right? Because by having 1 first group AB, you get 10% assault rifle damage as a bonus of the set. Now on the attributes on these gloves, we have 11% assault rifle damage, it goes up to 13%, and we have 186 skill power. Now in here, the skill power is not necessary, but this is the only gloves that I have that goes with the build. And I would say get some health in there or crit chance, and that skill power, you can get more skill power by have that skill power, like I said, on the holster and also on the chest piece. Now the talents is another thing that I would say you could do better. I have Devastating, which gives me 5% weapon damage. It's not bad, but it's not what I wish I had, right? The best talent I would prefer having in here would be Wicked. Not the perfect Wicked though, because perfect Wicked comes on Sokolov, but I would say just a regular Wicked. The regular Wicked will give you 15% weapon damage for 20 seconds when you apply a status effect on a enemy. And the reason why I'm saying Wicked, because we do have the Pyromaniac in this build, and every 2 kills you will apply the burn to a enemy, so you're gonna be applying status effect almost all the time, and you're gonna have that Wicked almost all the time active, so that's gonna be 15% more damage instead of just 5% more damage to your build. So I would say if you can get Wicked on the build. Last but not least, we have a Gilligard knee patch, which is gonna be the 3rd Gilligard on this build. Now I would recommend you to actually go with the Gilligard knee pads, because for any tanky build right now, if you want to have a good amount of armor, Gilligard right now is probably the best knee pads, and I'll explain why. Gilligards that can come with high armor, right? Like overall 29.7k. You can put some armor on that attribute. I have 18,000, and then on the mod slots, Gilligard comes with 2 blue mod slots compared to any other brand set, right? So I have those same mods that I have on the chest piece, and these are the mods that I told you guys it was on the vending not too long ago. And then I have on the talent hard hitting. Now in here on the attributes, I know a lot of people are gonna say, why don't you go with total armor instead of just armor in general, right? I have 18,000, right? This is better than having total armor. It depends what you have on the build. If you go all the way just total armor, you don't have armor for that total to work on that armor, right? So you need more armor. So in this case, right, let's say if I want to put this one right here, I have 12% total armor. You see, I have total armor, more total armor in here, but you see my armor goes down 492, right? But in here I have just regular armor overall, and my armor is higher. So you gotta make sure you actually look what's better on the build, what's working, what's getting your armor higher, right? For me, this is what is getting my armor higher, so that's what I chose. Now let's talk about the gun, right? Like I said, we're using the Pyromaniac. Now it's not necessary for this build, but if you have it, I do recommend using it, just because what I explained what's happening on the build and how it's working, right? So the Pyromaniac right now has been my favorite AR for PvE, and the reason why is because of that perfect ignited, right? Deal plus 40% weapon damage to burning enemies. After 2 kills, applies burn to the next enemy you hit. And honestly, on the PvE, you're killing NPCs all the time, so you're gonna be burning a lot, burning your enemies all the time. I don't necessarily need something that can always start burning the enemy so I can get advantage of that talent. You can put something in there, but for me it works just fine the way it is. The second talent on it is gonna be Allegro, and then the third talent is gonna be In Written. Both great talents, and I would recommend you to get it on it. So for the mods, we have on the side, we have 8% damage to elite. We have that laser point, is very important on this build, the technician linked laser point. If you don't have this build is gonna be the waste, right? That's the whole point of the build with the spotter, the perfect spotter, right? And then on the muzzle, we have 5% damage to elite. And then if we go on this magazine, we have the third extended magazine plus 20 rounds and minus 10% reload speed, but we do not have minus 10% reload speed. We actually have plus 4% reload speed because of all the mods that I have that has reload speed on this build. And that's why I said just get some more reload speed if you can. Now the secondary, I went with the Chatterbox just for the third talent, Blottermouth. While holstered, reloading your weapon within 5 seconds after killing it grants 50% rate of fire for 10 seconds. That's basically giving me more RPM on my Pyromaniac, right? The third weapon is gonna be just this double barrel sort of, just because I want that protected reload. While equipped, this weapon grants plus 10% bonus armor while reloading. That's basically what I want it for. Now for the skills, I went with 2 healing skills. The Restorer Hive, that gives me a total of 51,000 healing. And then also I have the Fixer Drone, which is a healing drone that gives me a 19,000 healing per second. Now to finish it off, let's go on the stats and check this build out. So on the weapon, right, I have the Pyromaniac with a total of 19.9 weapon damage, which is basically 20,000 per bullet, and then 12% crit chance, 25% crit damage, 55% headshot damage. And if you scroll down for the offensive stats, we have 48% assault rifle damage, 13% all weapon damage. If you add those two, it's gonna be a total of 61% weapon damage for our AR. And then if you go all the way down, you see we only have 38% damage to elite, but like I explained, you can get up to 80% damage to elite. At least me, I can get up to 80% damage to elite if I want, by just putting that mask once I get that holster that has more skill power. And that's basically it, guys. That's the build. Like I said, it works for me. I'm loving it. This the perfect spotter. I was surprised by it. Honestly, I think what did the trick was that laser point from the technician specialization. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be using the spotter still, but by having that is the best way to use the perfect spotter. So I enjoyed the build. You guys saw it. I played solo legendary with it. I did just fine with it and I love it. And yeah, the build just needs a little bit more tweak to make it perfect, but I had to show you guys and explain to you guys what you can do, because if I waited it would be way too long to post the video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit me with a like though, I would appreciate, helps a lot. If you're new to the channel, you can subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.